No, we were not in this terrible condition. We've had droughts almost this bad before.
Almost as bad.
Mm-hmm. She says so in her reports.
But we'd be in better condition.
We were historically, the rivers and springs were historically in better conditions in previous droughts. We've got more wells in the ground than we've ever had, and new ones are going in every day. And every new well that goes in makes it even worse.
This ain't rocket science. We rode around here on Saturday. I saw numerous areas where land's been freshly cleared and more circle pivot irrigations going in.
Well, let me tell you.
The more water you pull out of the ground.
You're mistaken to think that this little area right here has the impact of which you think it has. There is this is a whole regional system that goes up into the middle of Georgia. I mean, and to the east and to the north, and our little part of what we got going on here is really, when you look at the overall, is a very small portion of what's being drawn out that comes our direction. I mean, we have to work, and I'm 100% with you about conservation. And I tell you another thing that we really are going to, consumptive use permits are not going to fix this situation. What will fix it is alternative water supplies in places that are using hundreds of millions of gallons that are not coming our direction. We have to be thinking about ways that we can find alternative water supplies for places that can constructively use them, and helping those folks get money, financing, whatever it takes to do them, and pushing them in that direction. And I can tell you, this board and this staff has been working diligently to that end, because we do understand, to make a real difference here, we've got to quit using, in particular where we can, is so much groundwater. And you keep talking about it, but if you look at our total amount that we use in this district, is a drop in the bucket that may be used in this total region. I mean, we use some of the least of it per acre than anywhere. There's so much impervious land in some places, in Gainesville, Jacksonville, Savannah, so much that gets run off. They're pumping 70 million gallons a day back into the tide.
So you're telling us that Savannah and Jacksonville are affecting Falmouth Spring?
I think absolutely that. Not only that, I think what's going on in Macon could very well be affecting your springs.
And you've got scientific data to support that.
I don't believe that.
Well, I
don't believe
Megan, I'm either way off base here, or that's the way I've been explained to it.
I think the regional drawdown has affected Hamilton, Suwannee, Madison counties. I don't think Manatee can be attributed to that.
Mr. Chairman? Let me say one other thing. Is there's no question where we have a lot of recharge, this drought affects them immediately. Where we have these high recharge areas in a lot of these springs, it's affected immediately. If you look at Fannin, absolutely. I mean, we saw, even not in drought time, but when we had high rainfalls, we saw big spring flows. It would go to a magnitude 1. When the rain quit, it would go down. So absolutely, there's no question that this has some effect. And I'm not suggesting that it does not have an effect, especially where we do have unconfined areas. Mr. Reeves. Maybe I would ask, and I don't know how long it would take you, kind of to do this. We're definitely, without question, I think headed in the direction, probably real soon, of having a way in which you've been instrumental into metering and actually knowing exactly what we're pumping out of these bigger wells. That will help us manage this resource a little better. I'm confident of that, and I know that we need to continue on with that, and we'll get that. We'll get there. My question that I guess I'd like you to come back maybe to the board and give us some recommendations of how you think that we should be looking at conservation some of these things going forward on our agriculture community. I think we have had a really good dialogue with them about this metering situation, and I think we've come really close to having. I mean, I had some people ask me, why are these stakeholders coming in? Well, I think this is a real good opportunity to look and see why we should have people come in, stakeholders and others, and give us input, because I think we're going to get what we want and decrease the cost of this tremendously. And I have to say this is just one of those opportunities to look at what we've learned. I mean, we kind of started out in a direction we thought we were really moving to, and we found out we can do it cheaper and continue to get the kind of data that we want. So it's been a great exercise. It took us another month or so, but it saved a lot of money, I believe, to the district that we can use for hopefully managing the resource. But I guess let me get back to my point is I'd like for you to come back with maybe some ideas that you have that you could get back to us to what we should be doing for some of these larger uses during this high time of drought, and how we could better manage this resource. I want to hear all options, of what we can do. One of the things that I've had an issue with on the stage 3, and of course my understanding is if you're going BMPs for agriculture, then that kind of overrides the actual phase 3. But we can't. We're kind of overseeing or overstepping, I guess, where the electric companies want us to use electricity versus when the best time is for us to actually be watering our crops. And so we've got to get where those kind of things are not in conflict with each other. Because I think I told somebody, the co-op that I happen to be under for somewhere between, and I may not have my times exactly right, between 4 and 9 o'clock at night, which is some of the best times you say for us to actually use this resource, they're charging us the absolute most to run our pumps. So we would like, we're in direct conflict with that from a standpoint of 9 kilowatt hours to 31 cent kilowatt hours. So we got to work together to find these solutions, and I think the whole. We have to be looking at the whole big picture, including the electric co-ops needs to be taking a look at this big picture and see if we can work out with them, because we just got to bring everybody into the fray. Any